Well, here we are at the Tropicana, the mob attraction, MGM, Excalibur. Oh, yesterday was a fun day, but today we just walk around and explore some more. One thing I forgot to mention that yesterday, Tabby was asked to be a dancer at a strip club. That was pretty interesting. Luckily, Tabby refused, but I think in an odd way she was kind of flattered. Well, I don't know, they seem to be the kind of guys that would ask for anybody to dance at their clubs. Oh boy. And the completionist, he thought that was pretty funny too. So let's just keep on going down the strip and see what other things we could find. Of course, no trip is complete without some shopping. Right next to Caesar's Palace, there was the Forum Shops. It's kind of like a mall and a town, but, well, I'll let you judge for yourself. The inside was completely redone. It looked like the sky was there. Well, it wasn't really there, but it was curved up to make it look like it was there. The completionist looks kind of lost. It's its own little town that all the buildings. That's Tiffany and Co. We didn't go there. It's kind of expensive, but just walking around was a cool enough experience. And of course, couldn't help ourselves but buy some merchandise. I love Grumpy Cat. Hello Kitty's my hero, but Grumpy Cat is kind of like my uncle. Ugh. Gee, I can't imagine why. Tabby, of course, couldn't help but get these lip glosses. She always used to have lip glosses as a kid, and of course, if you find them in different candy flavors like Jolly Ranchers and chocolate, and they were really cheap, so you can tell she could not resist. Later on in the day, though, we decided to go to the Luxor. That's that pyramid. Man, talk about, being at Caesar's Palace. This is like going back into Egypt. The inside, like the jackal, they look like they were leap at me. Well, okay, not really leap at me, but they just look so grand, just sitting there. Did I say standing? Maybe the guys in the background are standing a little awkwardly, but I like the jackal. It's pretty cool. The inside was really, really neat too. I like the pharaoh sitting there and the goats, ram, lions. I can't really tell. The Egyptians always mix up the animal heads and the bodies. That's weird. One unexpected detour we took was the Titanic artifact exhibition. We didn't really know about this until we got into Las Vegas. We saw an advertisement for it, and Chippy Neko has always had a fascination with the Titanic, and she's never seen any real artifacts up close, so as soon as we seen this, we just had to go in. Before going into the museum, they give you these boarding passes, and this is what the real ones looked like back in 1912. And these had real information on real passengers. Now, they weren't really specific. We were just told that at the end of the exhibition, you can see the names of all the passengers, and you can find out if the passenger that you represent lived or died. The one that Chippy Neko held survived, but the one the completionist had did not survive. And it was very, very touching. Like all the all the artifacts. It's very surreal. Even some of the rooms were reconstructed. Even some of the outside of the ship was reconstructed. You can hear the ocean, see the stars, and it was really cold. So it really gave you a pretty neat perspective on what it would have been like. And of course, Chippy Neko could not resist on buying this little artifact. Apparently, a lot of coal was excavated from the wreck, and it's the only piece. Well, it's the only piece of Titanic history that you can purchase. So she had to grab that. It's really, really neat, and not just to see the artifacts, but to possess one. I never really thought much of the Titanic until Chippy Neko told me all about it, so I was really glad I was able to see this place. As you can imagine, running around the Luxor and the Titanic exhibition, that took up a lot of our time. It was just so fascinating. How could you not get caught up and all that history and... But anyway, once we were done, we walked around the strip some more by the New York and, the Paris. I think that was my favorite place. You got to see the large Eiffel Tower and that balloon. Does that balloon have anything to do with Paris, the real one? I don't know. I mean, like, Statue of Liberty obviously is associated with New York, so mostly it's the Eiffel Tower is what I think of when I think of Paris, not a big balloon or these big buses. But of course, I had to get my picture taken with it. It's closest thing I'll get to Paris, so what else can I do? But the main event for us that evening was Gordon Ramsay's steak. Apparently, this is his newest restaurant that he opened up, and, well, Las Vegas is the best location. That's one of the big attractions is the food. Oh, if I can tell you about the food, but anyway, apparently, the completionist and Tabby told me that this was the spot they had to go to. And just check out this sign. Man, I thought Gordon Ramsay had an ego before, but having his face plastered all over this archway? Man, you can notice it. That's all I can say. You can really notice that it's there. So this is the entranceway of Gordon Ramsay's steak. After you pass along all the slot machines, the blackjack, the poker dealers, but it's all the way to the back of the casino, which is really, really convenient, I guess. But I think this restaurant is reservation only. Like, good thing Tabby booked the reservation like 3 months prior. But anytime someone would approach the place, they would always look through their books. So, yeah, I think you have to reserve a way ahead of time just to get in. So, kind of made us feel important when we got there. And when you're in a restaurant, it's all about presentation. The first thing we got when we first sat to our table was this iPad, or I think you call it the Ramsay pad, as they called it. But this one only had the wine and drink menu. It was pretty fun to look through. We didn't really go through any wines. The completionist asked for a recommendation on a beer, like a light beer, and boy, did they make a recommendation, because the completionist loved it. Chibi of course, isn't much of a drinker. She's, well, not much of a beer person. She's a, wimpy drinker, but you didn't hear that from me. But this, she got a antioxidant lemonade spritzer, maybe? It is alcoholic, but according to Chibi you couldn't taste a lot of it. It didn't hit her very hard, but all of the fruit, blueberries, apparently it's super good for you, and apparently it's super tasty. I feel bad for not having it. I should not have splurged so much on the beer. Each table had 2 waiters, and they roll out with this ginormous meat tray. It's almost like a dinner and a show. What they would do is they would explain the different pieces of steak they had, and explain the benefits of each one and how the chef himself would prepare it. It was really neat. Now, the completionist was definitely getting steak, so this helped him a lot with his selection, so price didn't really matter. After we made our order, they would bring out this bread platter, I guess. They were good. The ones in the front had like a lemon glaze over them. The middle one, I think it was jam in the middle. I can't tell, but it was real sweet, and that was our favorite. The one at the end had hazelnuts, I believe. I don't know. I wasn't too fond of that one, but Chibi said it was delicious. French onion soup. Oh, I shared this with Chibi. It is the best French onion soup ever. Oh, I licked it right up. I got a little greedy when this came out. And the salad. Being a cat, I'm not really a salad person. It's all about the meat for me. But according to the completionist, the salad was quite tasty. So this is the roast chicken dish on rice in a sauce that I can't tell what it is, but let me tell you, it was very, very tasty. And this is a steak that the completionist got. I don't really know what part of the cow this is from, but according to the completionist, it's one of the best steaks he's ever had. And these are the side dishes that we ordered. The one on the left is it's a house-made steak sauce. The middle is mushrooms with onions, I think. And the one to the right is mac and cheese. Apparently, that's one of the famous dishes of this restaurant, is the mac and cheese, and it is extremely rich. It's a mixture of blue, Parmesan, cheddar, and truffle cheeses, and while it's a very interesting taste, it was extremely rich, like delicious but rich. Unfortunately, like Chibi Neko and I worked on it, and we just couldn't eat the whole thing. It was such a shame because really, when are we going to eat at Gordon Ramsay's again? I was so stuffed. But of course, not stuffed enough for a dessert. All three of us shared this one. It is a chocolate layers cake with passion fruit, and it was great. That little blob in the middle, that's ice cream, so you mix it together, it's really good. But the passion fruit was just the right amount, not too strong, but not too weak. So the chef really knew what he was doing when he came up with this dessert. Oh, remember earlier when I talked about the Rio? Well, a special show took place there. That's right, I got to meet Penn and Teller. Oh, what a fantastic show full of magic and whimsy and, well, not really. Penn and Teller don't call it magic, they call it tricks. They're skeptics, but the show was amazing. I just couldn't believe how they're able to pull all that stuff off. And Teller, of course, was very, very funny. I went to have my picture taken with him. He's like, "Oh, a talking cat." I'm like, "What? You can talk too?" It was a pretty fun moment, so we had our picture taken together, seeing that we can both talk, and the other couldn't really believe it. The neat thing about Penn is he actually has Newfoundland roots. I think it's one of his grandparents that came from Newfoundland, but when we told him that we're Newfoundlanders, this was reaction. He was really excited to hear from us. That was really neat. And of course, my highlight of the night was having this DVD autographed. Oh, Penn and Teller are so nice, and I really recommend you see their show. It's really amazing and a lot of fun too, with plenty of audience interaction. So we had quite an eventful day, walking the strip some more, great dinner at Gordon Ramsay's, and a wonderful show at Penn and Teller. So we decided to head back to our hotel. And so we will leave you tonight with a volcano show in front of the Mirage.